Thank you. It feels a bit like I walked onto the set of a wrong movie. I guess the one thing I just wanted to start by saying is that I mean, it's wonderful to get this prize. It's particularly wonderful, I think, because it's a prize not, I think, for us, but also for the entire movement. I think that this is a movement that we happen to be at the beginning of. I think mostly luck, but it's grown to be a worldwide movement. There are about 400 professors who are in one form or the other associated with J. Powell's work, and they all do randomized control trials on issues that are as diverse as, U.S. schools in the Appalachia to governance problems in Indonesia and getting children immunized in India, getting children under bed nets in sub-Saharan Africa. So this is a movement that, in some ways, we are kind of the beneficiaries of. We get often in the press, people say J. Powell's research has showed. We take great pride in it. We had nothing to do with the research. We didn't raise any money for it. It just happened, and we got the credit for it. It's great. We're in a rentier economy at this point. But it's still, I think it's still going to be wonderful for the movement that this prize was given, because I think it's going to make it a little easier to penetrate the many doors that are half open to us or not quite open to us, and hopefully bring the message of policy based on evidence and hard thinking to many other places as well.
The world today is full of somewhat depressing news, especially in the international geopolitical stage. And in the middle of this depressing news, the one hopeful thing there is that the fate of the world's poor has really tremendously improved over the last 3 decades. People don't tend to realize that. People in the US usually are persuaded that poverty keeps increasing, for example. But the truth is that over the last 3 decades, the two groups that did relatively well in world's economy are the ultra-rich and the ultra-poor. Why are the ultra-poor doing better? Or in part because some economies are growing fast. In part also because, in particular India and China, but in part also because the policies that aim to help the poor cope with the issues that they face have improved. Infant mortality has been cut in half since 1990, maternal mortality by even more than that. And that has happened in countries that are not particularly wealthy, and even in countries that have not becoming richer. Even in the poorest countries, there have been progress on these important issues. Almost all of the children go to school, for example. If policies have improved, largely it's not because of us, to be honest. But I think that entire movement that Avijit talked about has played a small role in it, in that it has, I think, raised the possibility and the hope that one could be a little bit more rigorous about what policies and what type of things can really help the poor. Rigorous in two ways: rigorous in designing the policies, not based on your intuition or whatever happens to be the flavor of the month, but based on a better understanding of how the poor live, why they make the choices they make, what are the specific traps that hold them back, and what lever to push that could unlock these traps. Better also, more rigorous also in the way that accepting the possibility that maybe you didn't get it right exactly the first time, and that innovating, experimenting is useful. That is something that, of course, the three of us with Michael Kramer could never have achieved. But that is something that this entire movement of going at it with a lot of persistence and a lot of details in the big and in the small project and giant project progressively has achieved. And the hope now, with JPL North America, JPL Europe, and JPL LAC is that some of this rigor that we try to develop in the poor countries moves back up north, and we also improve our understanding of what are people's real trouble, our respect for them and their dignity, and therefore a better, more imaginative solution to solve these issues. Avijit rightly put this in the broader context of the big movements that is changing development economics and as much beyond us. I want to bring it back a little bit to the more local environment of MIT. As you know, I'm a MIT product through and through. Came to do my PhD here. Was hired as an assistant professor against all norms. Never left. When I made this choice, many wise people told me that it was a horrible career move and was probably leading to perdition. I said, I understand that it's not good to stay in your own institution, but I think this is here that I have the right environment to pursue what I want to pursue. I've not been regretting this choice for any number of reasons. And so I want to thank, first of all, the department, from my advisor. It's a bit awkward because it's one of them, and but Josh Angrist, who's the other one, and Michael Kramer, who I guess makes it doubly awkward, and also the entire faculty who taught me, and all of the students who were with me. And I think together, so this is not a part that Avijit enjoyed as a student since he had the misfortune of being down the road. But we also want to thank the department.
Hello friend, welcome to our channel. Stay in touch. Press the subscribe button and don't forget to like, comment and share.